So with the talk of the black market here and there, I've also had a lot of people message me about potentially selling accounts in idle heroes. Now that is one of the most risky things you can potentially do, and beyond that, it's not something I'm even going to be saying, hey, I can help you out doing that, because again, I really don't like that part of the game. Plus that's like the biggest against TOS thing out there, and the accounts can get banned if done improperly. There's a lot of risk to it, but I think there's one thing a lot of people don't realize, and that is what their account is actually worth in the secondary market. You might have spent hundreds of dollars on your account, but guess what? It's probably not even worth $1. Even an account like mine, which I'm going to show you as an example, probably isn't even worth that much. Hopefully you guys enjoy this one. How much do you think this is actually worth? So honestly, I feel like one thing needs to be said. If your account doesn't even have like what it looks like here, most of the time it's not going to be worth anything whatsoever, because I have seen what does move on the market and stuff, and I'm kind of just like to the point where people keep messaging me like, hey Barry, I'm not enjoying the game anymore, I want to get rid of it, what can I get for this? And honestly, the account a lot of times will look something more like what our free-to-play looks like. Or not even that, maybe this free-to-play is more accurate. Like, they'll be like this, they'll have this account showing up. Holy cow, this one even has it popped up. They have like maybe 1 or 2 Destiny transition heroes. They have all B tier heroes, and I'm like, honestly, man, it's really not worth a thing. There's nothing here that a whale couldn't do in a shorter amount of time, and at that point, it's their own account. And you have to remember, there is some safety in having your own account. Granted, if you're looking for a very endgame account, something that has a lot of time investment into it, because remember, there's a couple things that do make something more valuable. One thing is this alone, your star spawn. Having all these star spawn is not something even a whale can power through in a short amount of time. This takes a very long time to gain the entirety of this power system, let alone the actual awakening tiers on these star spawn as well. Kind of similar to that as well is the power of the treasure train. Some people are like, yeah, I got a good treasure train, but then they have like 2 or 3 million fixed attack. I'm like, that is literally just a couple of events. And now if you don't have like these 2023 treasures, at least the most important ones, maxed out, again, that really hurts it, because as you guys have seen, this one is stuck at 4-star plus 4 forever. I'm never going to be able to get up to that next tier, which is what, 25.5%. You had to basically do it in that year or at the New Year event, and after that, they're gone. Same thing's going to happen with these eventually. These, we're going to get the most important ones kind of like maxed out whenever we can. And then after that, once 2025 comes, we won't be able to revisit this. So there is like some longevity that does go into what I would call value overall. But let's be honest, there's really just one big thing that is like straight up valuable here, and that is awakenings and stellar, or not stellar shards, sorry, gems. Essentially, if you think about it, like what do we have here? We probably have like 90,000 between each of these two heroes, so that's like 180. We have like 36 in the bag, so it's like 2 something. Each one of these probably worth like, I'd just lowball it and say 10. So we have like 250,000 worth of Starry Gems. That's not counting all of our B tiers and stuff that would probably sell. Some of these are like decent tenant copies. I think some of the ones that are probably the better ones might be up here. Yeah, where you have like the very high attack value. These might be worth like 2, 3, 4,000 a piece. So just saying like this is a worth 250,000. Starry Gems is probably pretty accurate. Now, if you take that and you talk about the black market here, 250,000, you divide that by 2,500 for the $100 pack, that's technically $100, or 100 of those, which you multiply by 100, you think, oh wow, that is 10,000. That is a lot. However, that's not really the going rate of what we call the black market that we've talked about, gifting stuff. Usually it's worth about a quarter of that value. So if I had to put a value to even an account that looks like this, that's probably not even like meta or anything, you're looking at like 2,500 to 3. And that's not that much considering what this badge right here means. However, this badge we got done somewhere in like 2020. So, you know, all the events we've done in 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, those 5 years so far, they don't actually keep track of this. And yes, in case you didn't understand, this right here, 20,000. Yeah, So saying that something like this would be worth 2 to 3 compared to the actual investment is kind of the insanity. But some people that are moving away from the game, they just want to try to recoup whatever they can out of it. But let's be honest, it's just not worth it either way. I feel like the market's probably even drying up in general. There definitely are fewer players coming to the game, but the ones that are here seem to be staying for a little bit longer, at least the heavy investors. And there's people that have multiple accounts as well. And it also feels like the market in general is much less copies out there, because you remember we used to see a ton of S tiers. Well, honestly, I think a lot of people went in on a Vulcan. Holy cow, maybe we should have waited on our Vulcan copy on this account. Remember, we spent about 90, so I spent like 90 to 95 on mine. This one's 80. I really want it. Yeah, it does need a reroll. 7,800 attack. What was mine? 79. Like it. Oh, that's the other thing, is the value of Starry Gems just continues to drop as well as time goes on, because you know these big people buying and selling this stuff. Starry Gems keep cycled in the market. Yeah, they take 5% every time a transaction is done. But that same Starry Gem has to go through, what, 20 transactions to go from its full value to nothing in the system. And there's really no other way to burn these except by turning them into contract Starry Gems for events, which some people do that. But I mean, could you imagine getting S tier heroes for this price even just like a year ago? Things were going for crazy amounts every time. Oh my gosh. My gosh. Yeah, Ziggy be dealing, and Arc. Yep, that's Soul. Always with the biggest deals at the top. Bunch of Patricia copies. I did not realize Patricias were going crazy. I guess it's because they're not working properly. And then there's what, an SSS not quite near perfect. Up in the leaderboard, a G-Ster selling for a lot. Like, even though these values go up, that's not actually what these hero copies are selling for nowadays. The market is just getting so flooded now with Starry Gems that, like I said, you can find stuff like this for like 80,000. I couldn't even imagine getting a Vulcan back like a year ago for that type of price. And the reason why I say that is because with the dropping black market price of Starry Gems, that also means the account value and what it's worth continues to drop, because this is like, you can straight up liquidate this account for X number of dollars when it comes to the black market. Granted, it does take quite a bit of time to get this type of Destiny transition, so that does have some value. Like I said, Star Spawn has value, Treasure Train has some value based on what you have, but overall you don't even get a 1% return on what you've invested into the game if you even want to try to get it out. So I just wanted to make that clear, that people, if you guys have only spent a few $100s, $1,000, $2,000, don't expect to come to me and be like, hey Barry, I want to sell my account, how much can I get like a good amount of money? I'm like, no, it's actually not really even worth anything. So PSA for you guys. And the big question is, I've never actually calculated it. How much has this account actually spent? Get a guess in the comments down below, and maybe I'll calculate it one day. See you guys next time.